Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Oluwatoni, but you can call me OT. In today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to draft and sew this stylish neckline. I'll also be adding a step-by-step guide on how to cut a 360-degree flare in case you missed it in my previous tutorial. The first thing you're going to do is fold your pattern paper into two, just like this, and then come down by 1 inch like you can see me do, then connect it together. The measurements we are going to be using is shoulder or back 15, bust 36. We have waist 30. We also have the half length to be 15 and a half. For your back or your shoulder, you divide it into two, and you know I have 15, so I am marking 7 and a half. Then I measured 3 inches for the neck width and also came down by 1 inch for the neck slope. So this is me connecting that 1 inch to my 3 inches. The next thing is to calculate our armhole, and your armhole is your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. And in my case, I have 36 divided by 6 plus 1.5, which will give me 7.5. So I'm going to go ahead to mark my 7.5 from like after my slope. So if I'm taking it from up, that will be 8.5. Then you're going to mark your back, that is 7.5, this way, so that you are going to connect all the lines together. So your back or your shoulder 7.5, and then my armhole too is 7.5. Then I'm connecting it together just like this. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to divide this line into two. After dividing into two, I had three quarter, and that is what I am marking here. And at that point, I'm going to come in by half an inch. So this is my midpoint, and then I'm going to use my curve to create my armhole curve. Then the next thing I'm going to be doing is inserting my half length, which is 15.5, and also I'm going to be adding half an inch to it for my joining allowance. You remember that this is a blouse and we are going to be joining the half length to the flare. Then rule this to make a straight line, and after that I am going to be inserting my bust point. My bust point is 9.5, and that is what I am going to be marking out on my pattern paper. So measure yours also and mark it out. So this is 9.5, and I'm also going to be making it into a straight line. The next thing we are going to be doing is to insert our dart, and we are going to be using our bust span, which is also nipple distance. You divide it by 2. In my case, it is 8, so divided by 2 is 4, and then you'll mark it out. Then on your waistline, you're going to be taking half an inch on both sides of your dart leg, and just like you see me do. And then on my bust point, I came down by 1 inch, and then I'm just connecting it like this. Then the next thing is to put our circumference. My bust is 36 divided by 4 is 9 inches, and because I'm not doing an inseam, I am adding 2 inches for my seam allowance. If I was doing an inseam, it would be 1 inch. Then my waist also, I'm dividing it by 4. 30 divided by 4 is 7.5. I'm going to replace my dart, which is 1, and then I'm going to add 2 inches seam allowance, and then I'm just going to connect like this. Then I'm adding my shoulder allowance to this. I'm not yet doing anything to my neckline. Later I took my measurement, then I realized that my bust was like 37, so I added the extra to that side, and then I am connecting it to my waist. The next thing that we are going to do is to trace out this all these markings, because I want it to reflect on the other side, and that is why I asked you to fold your pattern paper into two, because the neckline, we are going to open our pattern paper to draw it.
After transferring my markings to the other side, the next thing I did was to measure how deep I want my neckline to be. I marked 6.5, and then I'm just taking my 3 inches neck width down like this. Then the next thing I did was from this other 3 inches, I am using my pattern master to make a curve to meet my 6.5 inches. That is my neck depth. Then I'm dividing this line into two like this. After dividing it into two, the next thing is to draw a curve to go and meet your midpoint, and then from your midpoint you are just going to make a slant like this. You see that I corrected myself, so it should look like this, and you have your neckline. The next thing that we are going to do is, this is my shoulder allowance. I'm just marking it out here, and after that you're just going to cut it out, and you have this stylish neckline. To cut it, make sure the right side of your cloth is facing up. Can you see? The right side of my cloth is facing up, and I'm just placing my pattern paper like this, and I'm just going to trace out exactly what I have on my paper to my cloth. If you have watched up to this point, I hope you are enjoying this video. Thank you so much for watching, and also please don't forget to like, share and subscribe so that other people can see this video. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. For my back, I marked out 2 inches, which is my zipper allowance, and then I measured 3 inches neck width. I came down by 1 inch after inserting my shoulder, half of my shoulder measurement, which is 7.5. I came down by 1 inch to form my shoulder slope, just like I did in front, and then I inserted my armhole, which is 7.5, and then I'm just connecting it. I divided my armhole into two, which is 3 3/4, and then I'm just using my armhole curve to draw a curve. You don't need to come out by half for back. So the next thing that I am doing is to come down by 1.5 for my neck depth, and then I'm connecting it to my 3 inches, that is my neck width. Then next, I came down by my nipple distance, which is 9.5, and also my half length, which is 15.5. And then I'm just making it into a straight line. The next thing I'm doing is to mark my nipple distance, which is 4 inches, like what I had in front. And then on my waistline, I'm going to be marking half an inch on both sides to form my dart. And I'm connecting it to my armhole line for back, unlike the front that we came down by 1 inch for our nipple point. Then after this, I'm just inserting my circumference, replacing my dart and adding my seam allowance. Your seam allowance from front and back should always be the same. Then on at my back where there is zip, I came up by 1 inch and then I'm connecting it to the side. This is because of zipper bulge. Then I'm adding half inch that I'm going to use to join it to the flare. I hope you understand this. Then I'm also going to take half an inch away from my side like this and then connect it to my neck depth. Just rewatch the video, you understand what I'm doing. It's quite simple. And then we are going to cut out our back. Let's assume that our waist is 30 inches. And then because I want to add pleats to my waist, I decided to add excess of 20. And I'm not adding like zipper allowance because that 20 is enough. I'm just going to remove my zipper allowance from it. Let's now assume that my okay, so your new waist right now is going to be that 30 plus 20, so that is 50. So that is your waist or your circumference, as the case may be. I want to cut 360-degree flare. So what you're going to do is your 50 divided by 6.28. The result you are going to get for this is what will be by your waist side, and that is 7.9, so approximately like 8. Then I want my length to be 9 inches, and then I'm going to add 1 inch to it. Half that I'm going to use to turn my peplon down, and half that I'm going to use to join it to my half length. So that is making 10. So 8 plus 10 gives us 18. So if I want to go to the market to buy fabric, all I need to do is I will check. I know the length of Ankara is 45 inches. If you divide 45 inches by 2, you are going to have what's the name? 22 points. Yeah, you're going to have 22.5. So the first thing you need to check is your length. I can see that is 18 I need, and then I have 22.5, so it can easily go inside. Now I want to check for my breadth. So 18 times 2 is 36. So that means I need about 1.5 yards, because in the market they cut a yard for like 34. So what you're going to do is you're going to mark 18, but you usually add one to it. So you're going to mark 19 twice on your clothes, like you can see me do. On that 19 mark, you're going to fold it like this into two. So the reason why you do this calculation to know the yardage is in case you are doing brighter clothes. It used to require volume, so that you know the amount of clothes you should buy. So this is just me making sure it is 19, because once it's not 19 and you cut your clothes, you will have shortage. So then I'm folding it again by the length. It is 22.5 that we have here, but me, I'm just folding out 19. So if you are watching this tutorial up to date, I hope you're enjoying it. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that other people can also see this video when you share. Thank you very much. So this is just me checking out to be sure that it's 19, and I'm just going to cut it. So basically I'm cutting a square of 19 by 19, and I folded my clothes into 4. So the next thing that you're going to do is that's your 8 inches. That is what you're going to mark at the upper part, like you can see me do. And you see that my clothes is folded into 4. So you're going to mark your 8 inches round. That is your new waist circumference. And by the time you are checking this 8 inches, you multiply it by 4. You should have 50 inches. You should not have a shortage of 50 inches. And that is your new waist circumference. Then you go ahead and then mark out 10 inches. That is our length. So you can either do 18 like this, or you can go and do 10 like this. Any of the two works. And then that is just a simple way to cut a 360 flea. Remember I said if it is 720, you cut 2 of this. If it's 1440, you cut 3 of it. And you can just keep multiplying it, and you will just keep cutting more thread. For my trousers, I'm always using pattern, and I've had this pattern for like 3 years. I've been using it over and over again. So if you cannot draft a trousers blog, I have an online class that is starting 2nd of March. I'm going to attach my phone number to this video so that you can call me and I can send you the flyers for the classes that we have on ground. After this, all I did was to cut out the flower part of my Ankara, and then I used soldering iron, and then I put it on my trousers. Also, I made cover button and I added it to my blouse. And that was all I did for this beautiful outfit. I hope you all love it. And this was how the blouse came out. Thank you for watching. Bye, OT lovers.